Good evening, everyone, and a warm welcome to you. My name is James Sanderson, and it's my absolute pleasure to be host of this, excuse me, special presentation call, excuse me, special presentation call about Tower Garden. So I'm absolutely thrilled that you've joined us. We're going to be talking particularly about how to sell Tower Garden into schools. And we have a very, very special guest, William Benson, who's going to be joining us in just a moment. So I'm just going to check that William's on. Yeah, William's on. So I'm absolutely thrilled that we've got so many people on. And we'll start in just I think we'll just leave it one more minute and then we'll get going. So thank you for your patience. I'm just waiting for a few more people to join and then we'll be ready to go. So great. Okay, so for everyone who perhaps doesn't know, Juice Plus has a wonderful new product called the Tower Garden. And this has been in pre-launch for a while now, but it is now more in proper pre-launch because we have our own access through our Juice Plus website to the new Tower Garden site. So I'm just going to show you where that is, just so that you get an idea of what we're talking about. So this is my Juice Plus site, obviously very similar, exactly the same as everybody else's. And what we've got here is we've got three tabs at the top: Juice Plus, the franchise, how to develop a franchisee, and a new tab here in the soft orange, which is the Tower Garden. So have you seen that? Would you just like to put something in the chat if you've already seen this, you're aware of it? Perhaps you've even got a Tower Garden yourself. Perhaps you could just let us know. So if you could just put something in the chat, that'd be great, so everyone would know a little bit about your experience so far. So what I'm going to just show you just very, very quickly before I introduce William is I'm going to take us into the Tower Garden section of this website. So here it is. So here we have the Tower Garden, and it talks all about the different options that we have with the Tower Garden. And what this is growing fruit and vegetables in the home. So if we look at this, and you can see this is the first page as such. And then if we go into growing systems and we go into view options, you'll see the growing systems and then the Tower Garden home. So that's the product that we are talking about tonight. It's the Tower Garden for the home as opposed to the farm. And if you look at that, okay, so we can see that it comes on its own like this, or it comes with the lights. Hey, presto, there are the lights. So if we go down here, you'll see that everything is summarized for us, down here. And so one Tower Garden works out at, well, let's just add this to the cart. Oh goodness, we've got, I think we've got 2 Tower Gardens here. Oh goodness, we've got 4 Tower Gardens. So let's adjust this quickly. And okay, all right, well, we've got rather too many Tower Gardens here, but you can see that if we go to checkout, we have the option to pay all in one or pay per month. Now, let's just adjust this now. Oh gosh, I've gone mad on buying here. It's absolutely crazy. Right, so you can see now that a Tower Garden total cost is £850.01 for the Tower Garden and the lights, but we can turn it into a pay per month. And then it works out at £214.51 for 4 months. So I think it's very, very reasonable. And as Christmas is coming up, of course, it's a fantastic opportunity to encourage people to get the Tower Garden for their family for Christmas. And imagine the excitement of people being able to grow fruit and vegetables in their own home. So it's absolutely tremendous and so exciting. So I'm now going to come out of there and I want to introduce to us a very, very special person who has been pioneering the Tower Garden for really some years now. And I'm just going to let him introduce himself and tell you his story. And then he's going to talk to us about the specific initiatives that he's got, that he's offering to us, highly resourceful, very, very generous, enabling us to participate in his program so that we can really sell the Tower Garden really effectively into schools, and care homes as well, believe it or not, restaurants, etc. So it gives me enormous pleasure to introduce William to us. So William, are you there?
I'm indeed. Thanks, James. Thanks for the introduction.
Yep.
So my name is Will Benson. I have a tower farm in the south of England. So I'm about 45 minutes south of London. I've been growing with that tower farm in my restaurant, in my retail outlet for the last 3 years. I went out to the US to bring them over. I'm partners with a big greenhouse out there, and I'm just about to build a 6,000 square foot greenhouse in the UK, which will hold 200 of the commercial grade towers, which will allow anyone to come down, look at how it's done, have lessons and all of that. So I'm pretty deeply ingrained in the whole tower side of things. I've got 4 tower garden homes myself, 2 in my house. And so over the last couple of years, really, we've been selling tower garden homes. And in that process, we've kind of honed it down into where are their core areas that are going to make it easier for you guys to basically sell perhaps more than 1 tower garden at a time. And yes, you've got domestic sales. You'll do really well with that. You know, it's a fantastic product. It's perfect for the house. But then in America, there are 10,000 towers in schools. And that is an amazing figure. And it's absolutely ripe for that type of market. So what we've done is we've put a tower, we've put our first 3 towers into a school just outside of London. And we've had great success with it. The kids absolutely love it. It's a really, really strong way of really driving those sales. So what we're looking at doing is putting together a package to help you guys sell towers into schools, because when approaching a school, it's very different to approaching a domestic environment, because you're not sort of buying one as a nice thing that you could have in your home. You've got all the other considerations of kind of maintenance, who's going to look after that if there's any problems, all of those things. So we've been down this line, and therefore we've put this thing together. So let me share screens and I'll show you what I mean by this. Everyone see that?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a Prezi, right? So it's an online presentation that we've put together that we're going to offer you guys to be able to use when you approach a school. And within that, we have then looked at all the different core areas, and we've pretty much answered all of the different things that they're going to ask. So, you know, point number 1, for example, this is something that all schools are going to need to do by 2025, I believe. They're going to have a sustainability officer in their schools driving kind of sustainable projects forward. Now, the Tower Garden is absolutely perfect for that. It ticks so many different boxes. And this is, I'm working with a doctor. He's head of geography at a school, and he's helped me put this together. So this is all really, really relevant and absolutely on the money now for where they're going to have to go. So that's that part. And then as you go through it, there's just a load of core information in here. I won't go in it because it's quite a big Prezi, and as I say, you guys can have a link to this afterwards. But it talks about why you want to put it in there. It goes into the benefits of growing in there, the fact that there are 10,000 towers of schools in the US, 150,000 in people's homes. Went to a place called I've got a video which I won't do all the way through, but you can see in here. This is us and our setup in this school. called the Her School.
Around about 6 to 8 weeks.
And we've got like
Well,
in a classroom.
we can't see the video.
Oh, can you not? That's odd. Can you see the actual presentation?
We can see seed leaves, Juice Plus rep offer.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Let me just try and move this because I've got two screens up and I thought.
Yeah.
Sorry, one sec. Let me just try and move this up. Can you see that now?
Yeah, we can see that now. Yeah.
Right. Sorry. Let me start again. My mistake. Right. So this is the Prezi. All right. And as I was talking about, this first page is on the sustainability targets that schools need to make. So you go in there and you've got all of the core information in regards to that. You go further on and it talks about why you would want to put a tower farm into a school. You've then more information on where it's going to hit with STEM, all of the core areas that it's going to. This is perfect for the Duke of Edinburgh scheme. We've already got these guys integrating into D of E. More info on that. And then this, you can see that. I'll just show you, I'm not going to show you the whole of this because it's quite big, but this is our tower farm in there.
These towers have been in here for around about 6 to 8 weeks. And I mean, I really don't need to say much more than quite what have they done with them. They look absolutely extraordinary. Steve, has it been?
So this is on my YouTube channel, but we've linked it in here. So you can see all the kids doing it. This is what we're doing. We put an urban growing club together, which is exactly what this is. So I'll move on from there.
Yeah. So William, where do we find this presentation that you're?
I'll give you the link afterwards. Is probably the best answer to that because I haven't got it live yet. I've been working on it.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Yeah.
Some time. So this is the offering. And yeah, and then this is this is on something to do with it as well.
So team, welcome to Arizona. Extraordinary. I'm here now in a place called True Garden, which is an amazing green.
Because I won't go on about this because you're going to have access to this afterwards. But this is what we're going to be doing as part of the offering to the schools. We're going to be giving them every 2 weeks. We're going to give them a new challenge that they have to do. So, example being,
it's put into this piece of paper and creates something that is thoroughly brilliant on so many different levels because it is very, very good on a environmental sustainability thing. So what we're going to do is we are going to look to the idea of which of these different mediums that I'm going to send you grows best.
So that is the offering on schools. What we're doing is basically making it such that you guys have got a proper offering to go to when you go there. Because if you go to a school without this type of information, it's relatively, I'm not saying it's challenging. You'll be able to probably sell one, but this is tailored towards the idea of you selling 3 units, which is a pretty good revenue for you guys. It's like, I think that's going to be nearly what, £450 in monies in, and then I don't know, I think it's 1,400 points or whatever. So that is that's the offering that we're going to offer on this. So how does that work, James? Have you got any questions on that?
Well, no, I mean, I think that the thing is, when you say the offering, what are you talking about? What is the actual offering?
So the offering to the reps is that they have the ability to have all of the medium that they need to approach a school and then have a much better chance of being able to actually sell the towers into a school. It has all of the different things in there, has all of the different classes, it has everything that a school could possibly want to make it so that it's really easy for you. If you went in otherwise, it would be a lot more challenging. So that's what this is about. As part of this one anyway, we're then also going to give away 15%. So as part of this, the school will pay a retainer to us to look after their towers remotely for them, and also to join the Urban Growing Club. And that Urban Growing Club is the bit, as you just saw, that I'm going to send them challenges every 2 weeks. And it basically gives the children the chance to continue their education each 2 weeks. So in relation to the Hurst School, we had we've got the Urban Growing Club. You've got kids assigned to different parts of the process. So some of the kids will take a seed and they're the propagators. Some of them are the harvesters. They all have their own role. And you're basically creating something that could literally almost enter the curriculum if we got it correct. So then it's about, in terms of the offering to reps, on a financial level, it'll be 15% of what we make out of each of the schools.
Right. And then what does it cost the schools to I mean, obviously the schools buy you suggest the schools buy 3 towers.
Yeah.
Because why do they buy 3 towers?
Because otherwise it's pretty difficult to make something impressive of it. So a primary school can quite happily get away with 1 because the kids are quite young and they're not really going to be that engaged with it. But the 9 to sort of 14-year-old kids is really where we're at with this. They're the ones that are learning and they're the ones who are developing themselves. So the idea of having 3 in there means that there's constantly something going on for the kids to have to do. So they would need to raise money, and we've got a number of different initiatives as to how the schools could raise money. If it's a private school, it's perhaps slightly easier, but if it's a state school, then, I mean, the Hurst School wrote to their, I think it was Tadworth Borough Council, wrote to them saying, we want to integrate this into our classrooms, and they gave them the money like this. And this guy was saying it's the first time in 10 years he's tried to raise money for multiple initiatives. It's the first time they've ever given him the money, and they didn't even blink. So.
And what are we talking about there? We're talking about sort of £2,500 for the 3.
Yeah, well, if they try and raise 3,000, that also then allows them to be able to put monies into the Urban Growing Club as well, because we also offer, as part of the whole thing, they have a seedling tent, because they obviously have to make the seedlings to go in the actual towers. And they have the ongoing maintenance where we will remotely maintain their towers. If they ever have any problems, then we're there to help them out. We've got a set of 8 lessons, which I'll come on to, and they have constant access to that. So if a teacher moves on, the next person that comes along has the ability to then learn exactly what that previous teacher knows, and they can continue the cycle.
Okay, well, absolutely great. All right, well, I mean, this is all very exciting. And can you give some examples of schools that you've got towers into, and how?
Yeah, we're talking to 6 schools in London at the moment as part of a group. One of those is in Putney. The Hurst is in Tadworth, and then I'm also talking to a number down near Portsmouth as well. So it's a lot easier when you can put this in front of them for them to then bite. You've got to find the right person there, and that is generally the geography teacher or the biology teacher or the head or one of the governors, if that makes sense. So it's finding the right person and then providing them with this as an offering so that they've got something to feel comfortable in terms of then putting in front of their people and know that they're not going to be left in the lurch if something happens moving forward.
Right. And how do you suggest that people present this to the school, with a presentation like this? Or
this is literally what you guys are going to be given to present to the school. So you're going to be able to sit down and go through this Prezi. It pretty much sums it all up, and it talks the teacher's language, so they understand that this is going to be, as I say, by 2020, I can't remember the date, but they have to have a sustainability officer in every single school. And that sustainability officer could look at lots of different other things, but this would tick that box in one foul swoop for what they have to do, as in they've been given this by government to put into their schools. So they have to put something in, and this would tick every box.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, look, I think we're going to move on to question and answer quite shortly.
Sure.
What would you say? I mean, some people would be saying, well, okay, schools are great, care homes, fine, the same sort of thing.
Yeah, care homes. We're just putting another one together at the moment. I've got a unit in a care home. It's luckily my aunt owns one, so I've managed to put one in there. We've got some really, really good feedback coming out of those as well. Basically, the easiest sell for these types of things are where the entire process is managed by people within the organization. And it's not like restaurants are good if you've got a really driven head chef or you've got a really driven owner. Outside of that, it's a little bit more challenging. But when you've got something like the children looking after the entire process and there's no cost in that, or a care home where the elderly residents who have been growing all their lives, they're desperately missing what they absolutely love. They're the people that will bandy together and be doing all the seeding and the maintenance and the harvesting. And you can make this amazing thing for them. It gives them a purpose to wake up in the morning. So care homes are almost as strong as the schools. I just need to get on that because it's quite a bit of work getting this thing together. So care homes is definitely as strong.
Great. Okay. All right. Okay, so the number of different questions that are coming up, some people are asking, charities asking, is this available for hotels as well, would you say?
Yeah, hotels, absolutely. I mean, of course, I've got my other side, which is Tower Farms. So I install Tower Farms to various places, and I've got quite a lot of interest for Tower Farms into a hotel. But alongside that, putting in 2 Tower Garden homes into their facility, do you know what it does? Is the customer walks through the door, they see a Tower Garden, and they immediately go to fresh food in their head, right? They immediately think that the product is going to be epically fresh, and therefore the dishes are going to be, you know, really high standard, and it starts moving the brain a bit to then thinking that actually I might spend a little bit more money, or it's going to be slightly more expensive, and I can justify that in my head because of it. So a hotel is a really strong thing as well.
Yeah. So, Will, how do we actually pay for this? I mean, obviously, we've got the presentation here, the program that the schools can participate in, where they get the tower maintained, there's the seedlings as well. How do we actually participate in this program? So
basically, what I'm thinking is that if you guys go out and get the lead, I'm more than happy to then, once the lead is warm as such, then I'm quite happy to then come into a Zoom or something like that and then assist the sale moving forward, because I'm obviously able, I know a fair amount about this. So I'm happy to then come and be involved with the process moving forward and then close it. And then with that, what the school will do is generally they don't work on sort of monthly retainers going in. They will generally raise an amount of money for the entire term. And therefore, for every term we continue to move forward, you guys will then take a percentage of the monies that come in for each term that they do. So every term they're signed up to this, you guys continue to make money out of it. So if they've got it for like 5 years, you guys will take monies in for 5 years.
Right, because they're continually paying for the maintenance of it.
Yeah.
And of course, that's very, very good, because it means the tower is not getting left, it's not abandoned as such, you know, it's being maintained, and therefore it's continually looking good. And of course, the kids really participate in the towers, don't they? What's your experience with that?
Yeah, so the Urban Growing Club was it's just amazing. So the kids basically, I think it's 2 afternoons. They are allowed to, I think there's 15 of them in the Urban Growing Club. It's part of the Duke of Edinburgh Award scheme now. And what they do is they have split themselves into groups of 5, I think it is. And then 5 of them are in charge of the putting the seeds into the substrate. Then the others then take the seed and put it into the tower and maintain the towers and make sure that the leaves are clean and all that kind of stuff. And then the last 5 are then harvesting the product, and then the end product can then go into either their canteens. So I've seen it so that they are literally creating a lovely salad bar. Maybe only 1 day a week, because 3 towers it's going to make some produce, but it's not going to be big enough to crack out, you know, every single day a salad bar. But so the produce can go into the canteen, it can go into their bags and take it home. If they're, that's what the Hearst are doing. They're taking all the food home at the moment. Or they can take it on one and they can do cookery school lessons with it, and they can take the product and then turn it into another product moving forward.
Yeah. Okay, so quite a lot of questions, but yes, this is recorded, by the way, everyone, and I will get it out. The link is going to come up shortly where we can be in touch with William. William, you're going to put that in the chat, if you could, please.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, so that's going to go into the chat. Then in terms of making the sale, what we're saying is there's either we as reps, are going to make the sale, or you can come in and on Zoom and help us make the sale to schools as well.
Yeah,
that's great. So that's encouraging. We get this presentation. So how do we get this presentation? We sign up with the Growing Club.
What, this Prezi here, do you mean, as in the actual? Yeah, no, I will give you a link to that. I might actually do that in tomorrow morning, because I just need to tweak one last part of it. I just realized there was an error in it. So I will give you the link to this. This is something called Prezi.com, right? So it allows you to take a link and then run it in a web browser. But
the thing is, Will, is that everybody on the call now is going to want to know that link, because when we come off, everybody won't be able to receive the information, because, so there has to be sort of some type of communication now of what's there. I mean, if we get the link now, it'll be updated anyway, won't it? So even if people have the link, it will be updated.
Yes, yeah, I'm going to have to, I'll be honest with you as well. I haven't actually worked out how to send a link to it. I know how to press it in my browser. Let me work on that now, but yeah, that should be achievable.
Okay, so for people to...
So which of these is...
Sorry.
Yeah, so Will, for people to reach out to you about this...
to be the largest and fastest growing. It's going to be really interesting. So let's have a go at that.
Will?
Yeah, sorry.
For people to reach out about this.
Yeah, that might be a better route. If I put my email in the chat, right? And then anyone who's interested can then email me, and I will then be able to give them a link directly by, say, 12 o'clock tomorrow. Is that achievable, James?
I think so. Yeah, you might get a lot of emails, but
that's all right. Doesn't matter. That's absolutely fine.
All right. So you're putting your email in the chat now, are you?
Yeah, I'll do it now.
Right.
So that's this. Also, I've got two others as well, James. It depends on how we're doing for time, really, because I've got these lessons. So within this is my website, right? And we have just launched online these. So this is the online urban growing course. This is 8 lessons, 2.5 hours of fully edited footage on how to grow with the tower, literally from scratch. And it will literally bring people to being really quite knowledgeable by the end of it.
So where do people find this link? It's in seedleaves.com?
Yeah, if you go to seedleaves.com and just click on the top right-hand thing where it says Learn Online, you'll find it in there. So what we're doing as well is we are then offering you guys, at the moment, it is £195 for those lessons. So what we're trying to do with this is we're trying to make it, I've been on all of the forums on Facebook in America for 3 years, right? I know exactly what the problems are. And I know that there are a hell of a lot of people that literally have no idea what they're doing, specifically when they buy a tower. And that's why I put these lessons together. So what we're doing is we're offering you guys as well. You can make £25 for every sale of the lessons. And you can give 25% off to your customers to then buy the lessons as well. So that's another offer to you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah. So, and this is obviously specific for the schools and for the sort of larger.
No, James, this is for anyone. This is literally for anyone. This is, I'm coming along. This is going to be given as part of the schools project, right? As I said to you, we've got the 8 lessons that we've got for the schools. As long as they're signed up, they have access to these lessons. So we are going to give that as part of that package. But for other people, anyone that buys a home tower, so when you guys go and try and sell a home tower to someone, and that person is, they're a bit bewildered to start with, and there's the bit of the thought that it's all a bit scary and they don't quite know where they're going with it, then these lessons are something that will bring them up to speed almost immediately and make the most out of the actual tower themselves, rather than trying to go down the learning curve where you don't quite know what's going on. You don't know why your substrate's got a little bit of algae on it. Is that a problem? What is that? All the different bits, everything is covered in these lessons. So anyone that buys a tower, or whenever you sell to someone, you have the ability to sell these lessons. They get 25% off and you make £25.
Great. Okay. I mean, one question here, Will, does the nutrition of plants grown on the tower differ from soil grown plants?
Yes, it is. There was a study done by the University of, I keep getting this wrong, it's either Mississippi or Missouri, but anyway, it's one of those two, right? And they basically did major studies, and those studies over a period of time found that there was literally no difference whatsoever between the nutritional value from an organic plant and one through a hydroponic plant. But one of the biggest angles that you need to respond on that one is this: your average lettuce in the UK has traveled 1,150 miles, is 4 to 6 days old, and has lost 40% of its nutritional value by the time you buy it. So the idea, therefore, of you growing your own means that you are basically having ultra fresh, roots on produce, and it would easily, I mean, there is no difference at all, but that is a really strong selling point, is the state of what you're buying at the moment is, and with what's going on with, the inflation, all of those things, it's making now a really strong time to be selling the towers. Because where I've never sold a tower before really on anything other than wellness, because that's a really strong part of it, the ability to wake up in the morning with a cup of coffee in your hand and just have basically your edible bonsai tree. It's a really good thing for you on a kind of day-to-day basis. The average romaine lettuce in America has just gone up by 60%, and it's going to be the same in the UK. And therefore, growing with one of these by seed, it costs you 14p. So you're getting into the point where it makes financial sense, and you should be able to pay back this tower really quite quickly if you get this cycle going. So that would be my answer to that.
Okay. All
yeah,
right.
These are the lessons.
Yeah, no, fantastic. Well, I suppose the real key here is that for everyone, I mean, I've had a tower for about a year or 18 months now, but perhaps more, 2 years. And I think the key really is to get one, to own one. And
totally agree.
Yeah,
you can't trying to upsell something like this without having grown with it. I've seen a number of people try to do it, and I've been approached by a lot of people wanting to sell a tower. And then you get a bit further down the story and you realize that they've not got one. And you're like, really? You need to have some semblance of knowledge to be able to sell this product. It's not like a product that will sell itself as such, because it's so new and unique to the EU. So I would thoroughly recommend that you get one yourself, grow with it for a small period. It'll only take 3 or 4 weeks, but you'll understand all the bits. If you're asked a question about how this works and how that works, if you don't know the answer, you'll lose the sale. So I definitely agree with that.
So Kim is asking, Will, is it expensive to run with electricity?
So obviously where our situation is, it used to be around about £6 to £7 a month on electricity. We're now talking around about 13 to 14, I believe, but it depends on your rates and whatever. It's definitely gone up. But as I say, counter that with the idea that cost of produce in this country, I'm telling you, I know all of the growers on the south coast of England, they're all shutting down their greenhouses because they can't afford to run them over the winter. Our prices are going to go up. So yes, the tower has gone up in price in terms of the actual electricity that's used, but so is the produce going up. It's all relative. And I still believe that you're going to be able in a more positive position by growing your own.
So going back to the schools, I mean, Gordon's asking, where did you get the lead for the Hurst School, for example? I mean, some people would be saying, well, how do I actually reach into these schools? How do I make contact with them?
They actually approached me. So on that one, they actually saw me. I did something for the BBC actually, and they saw me on the news. So this guy, really, really driven teacher, came to me. But I believe that the more that this starts to grow its own momentum by other schools doing it, the more that the schools are going to go, right, that's amazing. How do I get hold of that? And if you can therefore use my examples and my situation as the lead for that, then I think it'll make it considerably easier for you. So it's the geography teachers, it's the biology teachers, it's the parent association situations, it's trying to, it's just approach people who would be the decision makers in your school or your child's school or whatever.
And also, Will, you've got a Facebook group, haven't you, that you've set up? So what's that called?
That's Tower Garden UK. So what I've tried to do with that, to be honest with you, I've been a bit rubbish in the last month because I'm just absolutely drowning with it, as in trying to keep up with YouTube, Instagram ×2, and then everything. But Tower Garden UK is one. The lessons are going to have their own closed. So if you sign up for the lesson pack, you are going to have the ability to then have 1 month's worth of a closed Facebook group where you will get very fast response rates from myself and my guys. And you'll also have an immediate call from me. So you can set up a 30-minute call to then do it. But the Tower Garden UK website is one that I really want to everyone start getting involved with, because I can put my things up, but obviously I'm a Tower Farm, so it's slightly different. We start getting some good interaction in the UK with people using their towers and running it. I think it's more specific to the UK. I think it's got a load of potential. So that's it. Tower Garden UK is the UK.
Okay, all right. Well, that's great. Well, look, I think we should probably draw the call to a close now, because we've been on for like 40 minutes.
Sure.
But Will, absolutely great. I mean, obviously this is all new. This is all starting up. There's going to be probably more questions that's going to be on our minds now after this call than answers, in a sense. It gets the ball rolling. That's the key.
Well, you guys have got my email address, so
just tell us that again.
So it's just william@seedleaves.com.
Seedleaves, and that's S-E.
Yeah, I'll write it in here again, but it's william@seedleaves.com. And as I say, anyone just get in contact. I'll give you this Prezi. I'll give you the I've done this A4 on what you guys will get for selling. I haven't talked about seedlings, because actually you'll also get a bonus for selling seedlings as well. But if you could get in contact, I'll happily send you all those things on.
That would be absolutely great. So someone else asked, are the lessons also suitable for primary school?
Yeah, I tell you what, guys, there are lessons that have been done for every single year group, and I have access to all of those. So yes, primary schools are also there. They're slightly smaller. For me, it's the kind of 9 to 14s where you're going to get real drive from the kids. But the primary school ones, having one of those, they absolutely love it as well.
Right. Okay. Well, look, I mean, this is really, really fascinating. I mean, I'm personally so excited about the Tower Garden. I think this is like the launch of the iPhone, something that everyone needs, no one has. Price for sale, price for profit. It's a perfect proposition, perfect product, perfect time.
Yeah, it is. The timing is absolutely on the money. And the fact that it's taken quite as long as it has is it's almost got it more and more ready. And where you look at the world at the moment, it is now the time for the Tower Garden, in my mind. It's absolutely perfect timing.
Great. Okay. Well, look, thank you, everyone, for, are the lessons coming from the USA? No, they're coming from the UK. They're your derived lessons.
Yeah, no, there's a combination of both. So I've got the Urban Growing Club is my stuff, which I'm going to be sending out every 2 weeks. So that's going to be video lessons. Then there is the American lessons as well, which I've obviously got access to, and I've actually tweaked those so they're appropriate for the UK because everything is in American there, the year groups and all of those things. So I've had them adjusted so that they talk about year 7, year 8, and year 9 rather than the American equivalent.
Okay, brilliant. All right, well, look, I think that's enough really for everyone. I think we've gone on 45 minutes. Thank you very, very much, Will.
No worries.
Appreciated. So william@seedleaves.com. And as we said, this is available all across Europe, is it, Will?
For the lessons, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, everyone, Holland, everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, no worries.
Interestingly enough, everyone, I don't know if you know, but at the conference in Birmingham, there was going to be a piece at the conference from the conference stage about Tower Garden.
Yeah, I mean, I'm supplying all the seedlings for that, James.
That's great.
There's two towers going up there, and I'm working with Astra in terms of getting the displays appropriate. So it should be pretty good.
Very, very exciting. Yeah. So the first step really for everyone, for all of us, is to get a tower.
Absolutely agree. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, look, this recording will be made available. Thank you, everyone, for coming on. Thank you for staying on. Thank you, Will, very, very much. A lot of information, of course, but william@seedleaves.com is...
Bang on. Yeah, bang on.
And we can email you and you will come back with the information and then we just take it from there.
Absolutely, no worries.
Okay, everyone. Well, thank you very much for your time. Thank you for joining. Take care.
Okay, guys, take care.
Very much. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.